Can't hear you, Art.
I know, I did turn.
That's the DP flex. So here we have in the second inning, the DP Adams hits a single. And the offensive coach puts the flex Polk in to run for Adams. So what would you record on your lineup card? Any of the fast guys?
Oh yeah, I guess I should mention if you do have a question or if you want to respond, please make sure you unmute and then go ahead and respond. Forgot to say that earlier.
Jason, Jay, Todd. Oh, Jason's on the phone. I can't see what everybody else is doing. Todd, you got an answer? Jay? Lee? Anybody?
Yeah, you put the flex in where the DP is, you'd make the mark, putting in number 2 in the DP, and you're now playing with a lineup of 9 instead of 10.
Okay. So you're saying you put a 2 over here in the substitute area?
I'd actually cross off the 14 and put a 2 there, and put over here by the DP, I'd put the flex so that way I knew that's why it's the flex that's actually in for them.
Okay. So somebody might misinterpret that and think that it was a substitution, not looking to see that 2 is the flex player.
Right.
So, okay, I'll go on to the next screen. This is what I typically do. I just put an X there because it doesn't matter the number of the flex player. We just know it's the flex player. So if they put a substitute in for the flex, we still know it's the flex that's there.
Okay.
Maybe a little less confusing. And then you could put a slash through the 14 to say that she has left the game, but you know she's left the game because the flex is in. That's just my method. Everybody can have their own, but make sure it's something that's understandable so that if we have a halted game, somebody can pick up your lineup card and understand what's going on. Okay. So in the third inning, DP Adams re-enters and the offensive coach does report the re-entry. What do you record on your lineup card now? Somebody else besides Todd?
You're saying the DP is now back in the game?
Yes.
I'm going to circle the DP and draw a line back to the flex.
I mean, you're going to circle the position or you're going to circle the DP's number?
DP's number.
Okay, very good.
Because when she left, I put a line through and I'm circling it as a reentry.
Okay, great. All right. So then if Polk comes in for the, so if they put a sub in for Adams and then Polk comes in for the, because you've got a circle around Adams, number 14, you know that the flex is no longer there, or you could put a slash through that if you wanted to. But that is a good way to keep track of it. So then if they put a sub in for Adams, you've got room over here to put a number, say number 25 comes in for Adams. That would be less confusing than if you'd put the number 2 there for the flex. So just make sure that you can understand it and the person that picks it up in the middle of a game can understand it. Okay, here we go with questions. B1 squares to bunt. She leaves the bat out over the plate, but the ball is low and away and out of the strike zone. B1 does not move the bat toward the ball. What is the correct answer?
Ball.
Ball.
Correct.
No offer.
Correct. Yep. The ball should be called by the umpire. Supporting document is rule supplement 10, check swing, bunt, strike. You guys can read that or you can look in the rule book. I think Laura was thinking that we could send this out later if anybody was interested in it, or if you just want it, send me an email and I can send it to you.
Yeah, Troy was saying that we can put this on the Michigan softball website. I'm just going to forward him the links to my files after the meeting.
Okay.
You can
So
post
you want
them.
me to send this to you, Ryan? Or Matt? Sorry.
I'm recording the entire session.
Okay, very good.
So yeah, we're good.
All right, next question. With 2 outs and R2 on second base, B3 singles to center field, F8 fields the ball and throws the ball home quickly. F2 blocks access to the plate without the ball. F2 catches the ball while R2 is trying to slide around her. F2 tags R2 before she touches home plate. B3 stays at first base. You have 4 options here. The ball remains live. R2 is ruled out because she was clearly beaten by the throw. The ball is delayed dead. Obstruction is ruled by F2 on F2 and R2 is awarded home. The ball is ruled dead. Obstruction is ruled on F2 and R2 is returned to third. The ball is ruled dead. Interference is ruled on F2 and R2 is awarded home.
B.
D.
B, okay.
C.
Correct.
B.
Yeah, it's B. So the rule support is 8-5. And then, of course, you've got your description of what obstruction is and the effect.
Why is it a delayed dead ball? When you put a runner out that is obstructed, it's an automatic dead ball at that time.
But when you see the catcher obstructing the plate, you put your arm out for delayed dead ball
Oh,
and wait until the play continues. And then once
Make
she's
sure she
tagged
was
out,
out.
then you know, it's a dead ball at that point.
okay, gotcha.
Good question, though. I'm not sure how well these videos are going to work. My internet's been a little flaky, but I'm just going to do a couple of them. The main reason is to show you that in the umpire's manual, if you download it, you can go to the different sections and actually click on the videos for all the different scenarios. So this is starting positions with a runner on second base.
Runner on second base only. Starting position. When working the 2 umpire system in Fastpitch, the starting position for the base umpire with the runner on second base only is behind and off the second base side of the shortstop, shading the lead runner and square to the plate. Go to the ready position at the start of the pitch.
That's just YouTube. You can't fix that.
Base hit to the outfield. With a runner at second base only and a base hit to the outfield, the base umpire should hustle inside the diamond toward first base. Button hook, pick up the ball, and glance at the runner.
This is where it gets a
Base
little
umpire
choppy.
is
Sorry.
responsible for any play at first or second base, and the last runner to third base. The plate umpire should move out from behind the plate to the holding zone in foul ground, about halfway to third base. The plate umpire is responsible for any play on the lead runner at third base and any play at the plate. If the throw goes to the plate umpire should move back to a position behind and in line with the deepest corner of the right-hand batter's box at a depth of 10 to 12 feet from the plate. Stop, get an unobstructed view of the play, and make the call.
Apologize for the quality. My internet's obviously a little bit slow. So when they say to get an unobstructed view, that means that you're not tied to that back corner of the batter's box. You can actually move in case there's a swipe tag or anything else that the display might dictate. All right, so we'll skip the next videos because they'll be just as choppy. So R1 is on first base with 1 out. R1 is stealing on the pitch and B2 hits a fly ball. F8 catches the ball and throws to F3. R1 is headed back to first when F8 releases the throw, which sails over the F3's head and into the dugout. What is your award?
C.
Anybody else?
I think it would be C.
All right.
Agreed.
But there's one other little detail there. It's actually C and D. R1 must continue to first base, touch first base before she can advance to third. Okay. We're going to skip these videos because they're not going to be very good. All
Or
right.
it could be properly appealed. Good point.
Well, the appeal was basically the throw going to first base. That was the appeal, and then it goes out of play.
No, but I'm agreeing with you in saying that if that person doesn't go back and retouch first base, the award is third base and they can be put out on a proper appeal.
True. that's why there was the two answers there that they have to go back and touch first in order to go to third, be safe at third. Good point, Gary. Thank you. In the top of the third inning, the defensive pitching coach requests time to have her first conference of the game with her pitcher. Later in the same half inning, the same coach requests time and holds a second conference with her pitcher. This is legal. The pitcher must be removed from the pitching position. The defensive pitching coach holding the second conference shall be ejected. The defensive head coach shall be ejected, and the pitcher is ejected.
A.
Yep, A.
Okay. Yep, this is legal. Rule support is 5.7 or 5-7 conferences, and rule support number 9. In the top of the fourth inning, team A substitutes A2 for A12 as a pinch runner. In the bottom of the fourth inning, A12 returns to her spot at first base. However, the head coach forgets to notify the home plate umpire of the re-entry. B1 with a 3-2 count hits a ground ball to F4, who throws to F3, which is A12 for the out. Team B's head coach notifies the plate umpire that A12 was never re-entered into the game. These are your options. B1 is out at first base. B1 is allowed to stay at first base. This is an unreported substitute, and the substitute is now officially declared in the game. This is an illegal substitute, and the substitute is now ejected. The offensive coach may take the result of the play or have B1 return to the plate with a 3-2 count.
E.
Can you enunciate that a little better?
E.
E, Edward?
And C.
Okay.
Yeah, C.
It is C and E. You're both right. Okay. Rule support is 4-6. Option C. B1's fly ball to deep left field hits in fair territory, bounces and hits the foul pole, ricochets off the pole and into foul territory. B1 ends up on third base. What is your placement of the runner? A home run, the ball is dead and B1 is placed at second. Ball is live and B1 remains at third. Ball is dead and B1 is placed on third.
B. Ground rule double.
Okay. Correct. Rule support is 8-5. So it is a ground rule double, or when it bounces over or rolls through the fence.
So it has to hit the foul pole above the fence then, for this to be a ground rule double.
Well, because it hit the foul pole and goes up into foul territory.
If the ball hits in fair territory and hits the foul pole, but let's say the foul pole goes from the ground all the way up, is it only a ground rule double if it hits the foul pole above the fence line?
Yeah, because
Because your
well, that's a
question,
good
the question doesn't say
I
that.
understand what you're saying. So you're saying just above the top of the fence and it hits the foul pole,
Right,
but it bounced first and then hit the foul pole.
correct. But if let's say you hit the foul pole like at the base of the fence, that's a live ball then.
Foul pole's usually behind the fence.
Fence.
Could be, might not be, depending on where
I think
you're
they
at.
should-
Technically it is.
I think they should tell that the ball does not go out of play. We're assuming that the ball has gone out of play.
No, it's just gone into foul territory.
So it's still in the field of play. Okay,
Yeah, it didn't go into dead ball territory.
okay.
So
I don't know.
really, all that really matters whether it hit above the fence or whether it hit below it. If it's above it, it's a ground rule double. If it hits below it, it's get whatever you can get.
Right,
Just
'cause
like
it doesn't
hitting
matter at
fence.
that point if it goes in the foul territory or not.
Yeah, it didn't say whether
If the foul pole's behind the fence or not.
yeah, well, yeah,
We're assuming that in this
correct.
example.
We're gonna assume that. So it's hit out of basically beyond the fence, but it went into foul territory. So that's the ground rule double part. Good discussion.
And it says it right in number 1, so
Yeah,
has to bounce over, roll under, or through a fence.
yeah. F1 doesn't like the ball that is left from the previous half inning and requests the plate umpire give her another ball for comparison. The plate umpire should allow the pitcher to compare balls. The plate umpire should request F1 to throw the ball in and then throw her another ball to use, or F1 must use the ball that was used in the previous half inning.
B.
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 Yeah. Actually, the rule book says that we can make her use it, but why pick that booger? They say it has to be unplayable, but if she doesn't like it, I'm going to give her a ball that she likes so she doesn't throw it at me. So rule support is under rule supplement number 2, Mult Rotation. But you want the pitcher to not be aiming at you, that's for sure. R1 is on first base with 1 out when B2 lines a pitch up the middle. The ball hits the pitcher's plate, ricochets, and hits R1 between first and second. Both F3 and F4 are behind R1 at the time the ball contacts her and had a potential play on the ball. Is this interference?
Yes.
I'll say
it
yes.
wasn't- It wasn't touched by anybody and it has not gone past the fielders.
Correct. Even though it ricocheted off the pitcher's plate, it doesn't matter. It's no different than hitting the ground.
I'll say yes, yeah.
Yeah, it is interference. And somebody mentioned that it hadn't gone by an infielder. And the other key is, even if it had gone by an infielder, if there isn't another infielder that has the possibility of making a play, it would not be interference. But in this case, both infielders were behind the runner, so it is interference. And we'll skip the videos. We're just more or less, showing the starting position where you would be based on where the runners were at, and then what your responsibilities are for, as far as the runners and where you need to rotate to. So you're welcome to make sure, if you've got your umpire's manual downloaded, go out to that section. Fastpitch up to umpire system page starts on page 71. B1 lays down a bunt in front of home plate. F2 picks up the ball and throws the ball to first base. B1's 20 feet down the first baseline and is straddling the first baseline when the throw hits her in the helmet and ricochets out of play. B1 never altered her running motion before being hit with the throw. This is interference on B1. This is not interference on B1. B1 is out. B1 is awarded second base.
B. She's not in the lane yet.
Lane hasn't started, correct?
Correct.
And
she's not altering her running motion.
right. And where is she going to end up as a runner?
Second base?
Correct, because it went out of play. Good.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. Obviously, these things are a lot easier when you're actually on the field and watching it happen versus just reading a question. B1 lays down a bunt in front of home plate. Wait a minute. It's the same question. No,
It's just
the
giving
same
it,
question with the answer. I'm sorry. B1 hits a ground ball to the hole between short and third. F6 backhands the ball and makes a throw to first for close play. B1 leaps for first in an attempt to beat the throw. She completely leaps over the bag and never makes contact with it and is a step beyond the bag when F3 catches the ball. What do we got?
A and C.
yep.
Yep,
I agree.
yep. With a proper appeal, she will be out. Rule supplement 1 talks about missing first base before the throw arrives, and rule 8.7, the runner is out when properly appealed. Oh, here we go. With R3 on third, the batter hits a foul pop-up between the third baseline and the dugout. F5 collides with R3, who is not in contact with third base. The battered ball eventually lands high in the stands. And what is the correct answer here? Give me time to read them. I'm not going to read them. Are you able to read them okay?
Soft touch with the offhand over the top of Plumlee, and then here's the triple to show you both ends of it. Torrey and Prince This is baseline.
Somebody's watching a basketball game.
Yep.
You need to mute.
Something else, because I was muted.
Okay.
F.
Those Brooklyn Nets. I like Taurean Prince, not because he's flashy.
Okay.
Because he's,
F is correct.
I think of
Yep.
Taurean Prince. I used to think of
So you don't kill it immediately on the obstruction or the interference, I'm sorry. So let the play out, make sure it's a catchable ball.
we gave one there. You gotta look at
On
Jared.
a field using the temporary fence, B1 hits a hard ground ball that rolls through the infield all the way to the outfield fence. Ball rolls through an opening at the bottom of the fence. The center fielder raises her arms to notify the umpire. Ball has left the field of play. At the time the ball rolled under the fence, B1 was one step away from reaching second base. Where do you place the runner?
Second
A.
base.
Yep. Ground rule double when it goes under the fence. Rule support is 8-5. Ball is dead, and then you award 2 bases at the time of the pitch.
Hey, Tess, I think it's Todd's. We're getting a basketball game from Todd.
Are you, do you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can hear your background noise.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can unmute when you want to answer. R1 is on first base with 1 out. B3's line drive is caught by F4, who throws to F3 to double up R1, who was running on the pitch. U1 rules R1 left early. What is your call? The ball is immediately dead once U1 rules R1 left early. R1 is ruled out and no pitch is declared. A delayed dead ball is signaled once U1 rules R1 left early. The defensive coach has the option of taking the result of the play or ruling R1 out for leaving early and no pitch declared. R1 is given a warning for leaving early, and the next runner to leave early shall be ejected.
A.
It's A.
Hey,
Correct. In USA softball and
USA
Federation is
softball.
A. Yeah.
Right.
Yep, no pitch. They don't give them an option. R2 is on second base with 2 outs. After a pitch, F2 throws the ball to F4 in an attempt to pick off R2. R2 advances toward third base and ends up in a rundown. While returning to second base, R2 bumps into F4, who is in the base path without the ball. R2 stays in a rundown and eventually reaches third base. She then tries to score and is thrown out by a long way at home. Options are, this is obstruction on F4. It is a delayed dead ball. Since R2 tried to advance beyond the base she would have achieved had obstruction not occurred, the out stands. This is obstruction on F4. It is a delayed dead ball. R2 is protected, and since she was put out at the home, she is returned to third base. This is not obstruction. This is obstruction on F4. The ball is immediately dead, and R2 is awarded second base.
A.
hey,
I believe A is correct. So rule support is 8-5, option B, sub 3, and rule supplement 36. I was looking through all the plays and clarifications on the USA softball website, and I found that there is a inadvertent verbiage left out of the rules book. So I make sure that you go back and look at last year's or the 2019 rule book and add a little note to your 2020 rule book, because we won't get new rule books for 2021. I had the pleasure last weekend to attend a national umpire school. It was virtual, and it was the USA Softball of Georgia that hosted it. I've been to 3 other national umpire schools, all in person. And I felt that for the $50, I didn't have to travel and spend money on hotel and food and everything. And I thought that the virtual National Umpire School was just as good as an in-person school without the travel. The only thing that was missing was, you know, the one-on-one meeting new people and having new blue friends. Minnesota, they haven't updated the website yet, but Minnesota's virtual National Umpire School will be February 13th. And Maine has decided to go virtual as well, and that's going to be March 20th. So I would encourage you folks, because we are required to do a National Umpire School every 4 or 5 years. I don't remember if it's 4 or 5 years. And this would be a very economical option for you guys. It was an all-day session, 9:15 to 5 o'clock. They had a session on 2 umpire mechanics, game management. There was rules discussion, plate mechanics, 2 umpire diagramming and 3 umpire diagramming, angles and distances, and help me help you. And the help me help you was talking about how do you, you know, find a mentor to work with you and to get you to the next level and get you to the level that you want to be at the end of your career. So I thought my $50 was very well spent. And I, you know, got some things out of it as well. And I think it would be a good way to spend a Saturday afternoon that's snowy outside and cold. I guess I've run out of questions. I think I had one more slide here. Yeah, this is just, I don't remember where I got this information from. It's just ideas to have or thoughts to have in your head, you know, promote other umpires and how to regain your focus in your game. If you're struggling a little bit, take a deep breath, you know, concentrate, relax, make sure you hesitate before you make that call. Stay in the moment, have fun, hustle, make sure you're gonna have a good heel toe alignment in your plate game. Track the ball with just your nose. Be aware of your angles and your distances. Wait, enjoy, have good timing. Always know where the ball is, always know where your partner is. And the thing that they drill in their head, stop, read the play, make the call. Make sure you're working the slot and have good GPA. I don't know if you guys have any questions.
Can you explain what GPA is?
Good pelvic alignment. So when you're in your heel toe setup, your belt buckle should be pointing to the front outside corner of the plate. And that is considered good pelvic alignment, so that you're going to be able to see that outside corner and you're working in the slot. So on a right-handed batter, your right ear is going to be lined up with the black part of the plate. That should have your head right in the slot so that you're working the slot and seeing that outside corner, even the low pitches on the outside.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. I mean, if you have any questions about the mechanics and, you know, where you're supposed to be on certain plays, go out, you know, download the umpire manual, go out and look for those plays and play the videos and make sure that you know where you're supposed to be. It's a good way to learn. And for you slow pitch folks, there's always the one umpire system starts on page 66 for slow pitch. And the 2 umpires for slow pitch starts on page 84 in the manual. Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Yeah, Gary, what you got?
Tess, I'd like to point out 2 things.
Okay.
And one of them happened in a national tournament. It was pretty embarrassing on TV when a 3 umpire crew missed the count. So I would encourage people, when you have something unusual happen at the plate, in this particular play, there was a steal of second base and the plate umpire had a call, but didn't let his partner know what the call was. So when something like that happens, I mean, it's not just a throwback to the pitcher. We had a play at second base. When that happens, plate umpire, step out and give the count. So you know, it was a pitch or two later they got together and they were asked if it was a strike or a ball on the batter, on the steal, and they got differing opinions.
Okay.
And the bottom line was they missed the call. And that could have been helped by the fact that you're the plate umpire. You had a ball or a strike on that particular pitch. Your base umpire is looking elsewhere to cover a play. But before they throw the next pitch, step out and say, I've got 1 ball, 2 strikes, or whatever the count is. That gives your partners the opportunity to correct the error right then if they had it. All right. That's one thing. The other thing is, we need a time when the base umpire, let's say a 2 umpire system, the base umpire and the plate umpire make eye contact. And what's worked best for me is if the batter's in position and just before the pitcher goes in to start their pitch, just prior to that, you should be making eye contact with your partner so you're not missing something like an infield fly. And we've all been there where the base umpire is flashing an infield fly signal. The plate umpire's got 2 outs, but you don't catch it in time. Now a pop-up comes up, and we've got one person thinking we've got an infield fly and one who doesn't because we've got 2 outs. The point is, you should have a point during each batter that you look at your partner so that you're aware of the game situation. You could be the base umpire and be in the wrong position. It gives the opportunity for the plate umpire to tell you that, other than making them step out away from the plate and say, hey, Fred, get over by third base,
Yep.
that type of thing. But just 2 things that I've noticed that can happen in all of our games. Just a suggestion.
Okay, I have a comment on that. When you said something about the base umpire was giving the infield fly and the plate umpire had 2 outs. As a plate umpire, it's my job to lead, it's my field. So I would prefer that they wait maybe 1 pitch and then try to give the plate umpire the infield fly signal. Give the plate umpire an opportunity to give that signal first.
But understand that if they had that eye contact prior to a pitch ever being started, that gives the plate umpire the opportunity to step out before that play ever happens, and you don't miss that 1 pitch. Because I guarantee you there's going to be that 1 pitch where they pop the ball up and you've got a problem. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
But 99 times out of 100, the plate umpire should give the signal first. And another point on that, when you're the plate umpire and you've got that, easy out at first base, don't turn around and go back to the plate before your base umpire makes the out call. Respect your partner and watch him make the call, because what happens if even though it's a routine play, the first baseman could drop the ball.
Good point.
Stranger things have happened. So respect your partner, wait till they make the call and the play's finished, then turn around, go back to your position. Anything else from anybody? What basketball game are we missing?
There's a couple different ones on tonight. You can watch the Pistons, or there's a Big Ten game on also.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
I understand.
Not a biggie. It's my wife got a phone call, so she went upstairs. So I went, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
She's the one that
No
watched
worries.
it.
No worries.
Yep.
So yeah, this ended up being a little bit shorter than we thought. I guess the next meeting is on February 3rd. And I believe Gary has that, or maybe Jamie's gone back to that one. I don't know, but it's the rules test. So Laura sent out the rules or the exam. Make sure you print it out and go through the rules book. When that comes on, at Thursday night, have every rule reference written down for every question and have your answers figured out, and then be interactive, however they decide to handle that meeting, but let's be interactive. Don't come to the meeting looking for the answers. Have the answers already done. That's the only way you're going to get better as an umpire.
Yep.
Matt, isn't the rules on the 10th and next week is something different?
Yes.
Jamie,
Jamie's got the next one. He's going to be talking about game management.
Oh, okay. My
And
bad.
then the 10th will be then we'll have 2 test dates, one on the 10th and one on the 17th.
Okay, my bad.
Gary's
guess
got
I
the
forgot
10th
about
and
that.
then Joe Van Dombelin's got the 17th.
Okay. Been kind of looking to go into sunny Arizona, but they've got snow out there, so I don't know if I'm gonna go now or not.
Take your Michigan gear.
Yeah, no kidding. I might have to take a jacket. So, any other questions, guys?
Thanks, Dennis.
Hey, no problem. My pleasure. Hopefully
Oh,
you
that's-
learned
Thanks, Tess.
something, got your mind engaged in softball.
Yep, thanks, Tess.
Yep, you're welcome.
You guys have a good night.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks,
Hello.
Tess.